we'll see how it goes.
All right. Well, I wish you well. I have a good story to tell, Wally.
It's
I wanted
all
to share.
yours.
So this is actually really great that we're talking about player selection. So we finished provincials this week, and we had 13 teams qualify and only 2 won medals. We got 2 bronze medals, and our U11 AA, which is the highest level, and our U11A both won bronze medal at provincials, and they're all the same age. So I think they're all 2011s, which is great for our organization in the long term. But I wanted to speak to, given this topic, the vastly different ways the 2 teams were selected. So the U11A team, which would be our second tier team, was picked almost exactly as Wally just described. So we went through a very long process. It took 4 weeks, give the kids some skates in the fall, evaluate them on exactly what Wally just said, skills, compete, hockey IQ. In the U11 age group, we had over 120 kids we were evaluating. And me and the evaluators came up with an objective ranking of every single player from top to bottom. So I can pull up the sheet, tell you who was number 1 and who was number 56. So they all got a score out of 15. Each one of those 3 things were worth 5 points. This is the first time we had really ever done this on such a big scale. We did the same thing for our U9s. So that U11A team are the top 15, 16, 17 from that process. So the coaches, the evaluators did not pick the team. We simply gave the information to the coaches. One of those coaches is Apsy's brother. So Sammy, I don't know if you know Sil. And both the head coaches were great and very capable of developing players, but they got the pick of the litter in this process of the top 17. And if they were the tops, they might have gone off board and taken like the 21st best player or the 19th, but they didn't go so off board that they took the 45th. So we didn't say you must do it. You must take who we rank, but we did the process well enough, I guess, that they thought, well, okay, these are clearly the top 15 or what have you. So that team did extraordinarily well all season, got to the finals of most of their tournaments, finished first in their loop. They were very well picked, and all the teams underneath them also were very thoroughly picked and did very well at their level. So at the U11 age group, this process worked really well. It was also far too drawn out and caused a lot of people a lot of stress, but ultimately it got them to the goal. Now, notice I didn't talk about the AA team. The AA team was not in this process at all. They got picked in the spring during COVID without a single evaluation skate where everybody was on the ice together. Most of them skated on a pond in the east end of the city for the coach when they could come because it was COVID. And he never had them all on the ice at the same time. He was sending me grainy video on his camera phone. He's an older guy, so who knows, it might have been a flip phone. Sending me video, and I got on the ice with this team in training camp, and they were a double B team at best, to the point where we're like, we might need to recategorize this team because the A team, if the AA team had played the A team, the AA team would have lost for sure. Like I guarantee, they never did because that would have been bad for everybody. But I think they would have lost if they had played each other straight up at the beginning of the season. So the U11 AA team, and the coach told them that. He was like, we're double B skill level right now. We are not even in the right conversation. He told the parents that in training camp. I ran their training camp. So they're part of our high performance program. I've been on the ice with them about 30 times this season. So about 2 months ago, the coach calls me and goes, Kim, I don't know if we should go in provincial. So because there's not that many teams at the U11 AA level in the province, everyone gets an automatic bid. And you can choose to go in or not. He's like, we've lost 90% of our games. Like, now we're going to go play these superstar teams and just get walloped. Like, I said, oh, you should just go. You guys are used to getting walloped. Like, it's fine. You don't get a free pass into provincials every year, right? Like, it's an experience that these players hopefully will get again, but it's not guaranteed that they'll ever get it again. Just put them in. He's like, okay, I'll put them in. And he's like, we got to train harder because I don't want us to embarrass ourselves. So wouldn't you know, a month before provincials, they go almost undefeated. I don't know how. Like, there's kids who can't turn one way on this team, and I love them all, but like they lift up a leg when they turn left. Like, there's one very good player who I would argue is top 10 in the province, and then a whole lot of medium, whole lot of vanilla. And so they go on a tear like a month before provincials and just start beating people like that they have no business beating. We get to the provincial championship. They knock off some team from Sudbury who's supposed to be God's gift to hockey. I mean, to me, it all just looks like chaos, right? Just one really good kid gets the puck, goes to the other end. One another really good kid gets the puck, goes to the other end. Chaos. But they invite me on the bench, so I'm on the bench for the chaos. And we get to the provincial bronze medal game by some miracle of God against a team that beat this team 11-1 at the beginning of the season. And the coach called me after that game and said, Kim, it could have been 25-0. We never got out of our end. So I lost to this team 11-1 at the beginning of the season. And that team is an all-star team, as is now happening in girls hockey because there's no borders. They got the best kid from Barrie. They got the best kid from Markham. They got the best, and they just brought them all together in the super team who won every tournament or got to the finals of every tournament, blah, 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 blah. And so we beat them 5-4 in overtime. We got scored on the first shift. I was like, oh, this is not good. This is not good. First shift, first shot. Somehow we're up 3-1 going into the third. The other team goes down to 2 lines. This is U11. Okay, but whatever. We couldn't even go down 2 lines. I don't even know who the 2 lines would be for us. They're all the same. So anyways, they shorten. They score 4 goals in like 3 minutes. I don't even know what happened. It was like just like an onslaught. So we're down 4-3. We pull the goalie when it's 4-on-4. We've never practiced pulling the goalie. Like, they don't know what to do. We score with 20 seconds left to tie it 4-4. This is my favorite part of the story. Wally, you'll appreciate this. So we have this one kid who's really good. And we have a penalty kill in overtime. I mean, what kind of refs are calling penalties on 10-year-olds in overtime at the provincials? But okay. We had a power play in overtime too. Didn't get a shot on net. Anyways, PK in overtime. And our best player gets the puck behind our own net. So what's everyone yelling? It's a PK in overtime. Like, ice it, send it. She's one of the few kids who can ice it. No, not going to ice it. Goes end to end, which she does all season. So every team sends 4 when she touches the puck. She's huge. She goes end to end with 3 kids dangling off her, throws the puck from the corner at the net on her backhand. It goes in. We win in overtime. 5-4. Bronze medal champions. Now, I take 0 credit. All I told the coach, thank you, Sammy. I jumped on the bandwagon at the right time, right? Like, I'd never been on the bench for this team before, so I will take all the credit and yet none of the credit. But I mean it to say, I really think it's fascinating because, Wally, you were talking about, picking multiple teams. These 2 teams were at the same age group. I think one team had a minor on it. The rest of them are all majors, all the exact same age. One went through a very thorough, thoughtful process where me and our other high performance coaches evaluated them. This wasn't some hacks in the stands going like, oh, she looks pretty good, or I play golf with this guy. Like, it was a true objective evaluation. And you have the other team is picked on a pond who had nothing. And they both ended up the same point. Both bronze medal champions at provincials. So to me, it says like ultimately why both teams won is because the coaches are great skill developers. Both of them are great. This AA team, if you told them to go into penalty kill formation, they would look at you like you were crazy. They have no idea what that means. They have no idea what they do on the breakout. If you ask them what their breakout is, they have no idea. Their power play, 0 idea. They could not tell you because we didn't have them. Right? And I can't speak for the A team. But pure skill, player development, and what this coach at the AA level focused on was skating with your head up. And when I say focused on, he did the identical drills for 4 or 5 months for 15 minutes of practice, like no difference. And keep in mind, while he's doing these 4 or 5 drills, every practice, not one practice a week at skill, like every practice. And like the drills are not exciting. Like I'm even watching them do it going like, that's kind of boring. And they're getting annihilated while he's doing these drills. Like every game they go into, they're getting their butts kicked. Now the coaches are on board and the players are on board, and we all know how the parents were. Got far too many phone calls about this team. And I wanted this coach at the end. He's the nicest guy. He would be a perfect shark. This guy is a shark. I will invite him to come on and talk about this. But I really want him to say, I told you so. And I really want to say, I told you so to those parents. But the bronze medal tells them, I told you so. But he stuck to his guns. He didn't change these drills. I got him to add a couple more compete drills. I got him to add some more one-on-ones. I thought like maybe we should teach some of these kids to skate backwards, some stuff like that. But like he just stuck to his guns and taught them they all can skate with their head up. They all can deke someone one-on-one just by going around them. They can all weight shift. And none of them are scared to, even if they're not good. Like the bottom third of the team will pick up the puck behind our own net and carry it in front of the net and try to dangle 4 people. Like it's heart attack inducing. And yet, if there was one skill that I would value that these players be able to do, it would be that. It would absolutely be that. And so, anyways, I just wanted to share. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen anything like that in my own playing career. I've never had the opportunity or privilege to have a team rise like that in my coaching career. So it was an honor to be there and watch it firsthand, but I still can't believe it happened. It is a true miracle on ice, but it does speak to the selection process and how we can try to micromanage it like we did, and we got it really right. And then we can just let the old guy run kids around on the pond, and he got it pretty right too, when it all comes down to it. Because I don't know that it matters that much if you've got people who are going to develop kids the right way. And maybe that's what I learned the most out of all of this, right? Is that the real crux of the whole thing is if you have coaches who are going to stick to their guns and do it the right way. So anyways, thanks for letting me talk forever, as I always do. Appreciate it.
Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, Kim, in listening to your story, do you think, and you had said you thought maybe they were just double B at best. What do you think was missed in the evaluation? I mean, kids can surprise you for sure, but obviously it was a better team than maybe was thought initially. What do you think you might have missed?
Well, the team that was the double B team, that became our double A team, I don't think anything was missed, but the coach was evaluating on a pond. And he just, like, you can't run drills, and like the pond melts. It's, January in Toronto, like could be 10 degrees, like who knows, right? So he was literally just like, oh, 6 kids showed up, let's play 3-on-3. Oh, I think this girl skates okay. Like maybe I'll have her come skate next Wednesday. Oh, the ice melted. Like it was not a thought out process. It was, there were, I would say 6 kids who are clearly a little better than everybody else, including the one who, and I wouldn't say she was this dominant at the beginning of the year. But like there was nothing missed. What was missed actually is that because he went through this process and he had to say no to a bunch of the kids who were on the A team, a bunch of those kids who ended up on the A team actually did a ton of work and development over the course of the off season. So I would argue there were 6 players on the A team who should have been on the double A team. Like when the puck dropped in September, and this is why I say the A team was better, the 6 best players on the A team were probably better than the 6 best players on the double A team at that point. Right? So, and we didn't change any of the players around. That's a whole other conversation, right? Because you haven't even played a game yet. Could you actually make a trade or do whatever? This coach was like, nah, I picked who I picked. Let's go. And none of the parents, on that A team, of course, because they were pissed, they didn't make the double A team. So they wanted to stay on the A team and prove everyone wrong. So I wouldn't say like there was a lot of love between these 2 teams all season, right? Like there's not, they weren't exactly like warm and fuzzy to each other. They never did play each other. They never practiced together. But yeah, he did the best he could with what he had, which was, whoever showed up on the pond. And, do I think he missed 3 or 4? Absolutely. And there was another 3 who trained with me all summer at my hockey camps who came over from another organization, who just happened to fall on that A team because the double A team had already been picked. But yeah, I wouldn't say he did anything wrong. I just, I don't know that I would have picked, I could have swapped the top 6 out real easy there. and you probably come out with the same answer.
So just for clarification, Kim, the AA team, I understand, I guess, the minor hockey process. They just got picked sort of randomly last spring, like you said, when the COVID was raging and they couldn't really have a tryout. And then, so they were picked and they were automatically AA players come the fall. And then you picked the other team from all the remaining U11s. Is that the process?
Yes. So we went through a process where they had to sign up for, we called it the launch pad. It was some number of skates, and the first 4 of them were just skills, and the last 4 of them are evaluations. There was some number like that. So we didn't start evaluating right away, and we resorted in the fall. So kind of like what Wally said, you had everybody on the ice together, and then as we got closer to decision time, you started to sort. If there's 120 kids, the kids who were just going to end up in house league sort of were in a certain cohort, and the ones who were vying with the A team were in a different cohort. So we did, have some flexibility through the way. But, we are in downtown Toronto. So if you don't pick the AA team in the spring, they all leave, right? So it's an imperfect process, and Hockey Canada wants U11 and U9 to be picked in the fall. And we are adhering to that in some way coming this fall. But, the majority of our AA team will be we've gone now to a model where our AA and our A team are both non-parent coached, and they're going with a player pool of players. So they're going to co-coach this group of 30 kids en masse throughout the summer and do some skates with them. And then once they get to the fall, they will actually identify who's AA and A, but all the kids will know they're in this larger pool. So we've never done that before. I'm thrilled. They're both phenomenal coaches. And they both have to win bronze or silver or gold at provincials. Clearly, we've set the bar pretty high here next year. But so that's how the process is going to evolve for next year.